welcome back to another little mini chit chat video. Welcome back to another little mini reaction video. So, before we go ahead and get into tonight's topic, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Shout out to all our Purple Heart members. Thank you guys for all of your support in advance. You will see this video once it re-uploads to YouTube if you didn't get a chance to make the live. Shout out to all of our new subscribers. There are a ton of you guys. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. We hope you guys are enjoying the content. We do a lot of different things on this channel. We do chit chat videos like these. We do regular traditional sit down videos. We do vlog content. We do entrepreneurial content. We do a lot of different things. I like to dibble and dabble in a lot of different things. I got a lot of different things going on. So I like to just go ahead and, be multifaceted on my channel. So I don't have one particular genre of content that I stick to. So if you like that type of stuff, you like lifestyle content in general, then you definitely will enjoy your stay here. We have a couple giveaways going on the channel that I want to talk about before we go ahead and get into tonight's video. So the first giveaway that we have going is the Uber Eats gift card giveaway. That is the road to 1,000 subscribers on this channel. And we're excited about that. So we definitely want to go ahead and give back and say thank you to those of you who are genuinely supporting us. We do appreciate you guys so much. So that giveaway is going to be for people residing in Canada. That is where I reside. You will need a valid email. You'll need a valid email and you'll need to reside in the country in order to access the Uber Eats gift card. We do have another giveaway, however, this is our watch time giveaway. Again, we enjoy doing this one as well. It's our way to give back and of course get you guys watching all of the old videos and push that algorithm. So it's an amazing giveaway. It's great for us and it's great for you guys. So, in order to take part in that particular giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. For all of the giveaways, you must be subscribed to the channel, of course. That is a no brainer. So, you must be subscribed. You must be watching the videos all the way to the end. Comment after you're done. Purple hearts in the comment section so we know that you have taken part. And yeah, you'll be entered into that giveaway. That is a cash prize giveaway. In order to take part, you must have access to Western Union. So I'm in Canada. Once again, we don't do what's that one you guys do? What's that one? It's something with the pay. We don't do it's a popular money transfer thing you guys use in the States. We don't use that here. We use Western Union. So you must have valid government ID in order to go ahead and pick up the money transfer. So those are the rules. That's everything you guys need to know about the giveaways. So now we're gonna go ahead and jump into tonight's topic. So I was watching one of my favorite chit chat channels or reaction channels, Everything Entertainment, and he was reacting to Hood Trophy Bino's live, where he was just obliterating Rock. He was talking about her hygiene, her parenting, all type of craziness. He was just quote unquote exposing all of this stuff. Really terrible stuff for somebody who not even 2 months ago was all booed up and everybody was like, oh my God. And I included was rooting for them. I thought he genuinely cared about her. They were doing the whole, tour thing. And it was just content, content, content. And he made a whole album, a whole video, and all this stuff. And now it's she's the B word. He called her the B word like multiple times in that video. He called her dirty, nasty, said she smells. He had to tell her to go bathe. That she only feeds her son milk. She don't give him solid foods. She don't help him try to walk. He had to try and help him walk. He paid $300 for the birthday party. Um all type of stuff, just all type of stuff. You would never have expected this from him, or would we have? I mean, a lot of people kind of nailed it from the beginning, what this was all about. I was a little bit more optimistic. I like to root for the underdog. But once they were no longer together, I started getting a sense that things were going to end up here. And this all happened, I guess, because she went live, and I know she called him ugly or whatever she said. He did not like that. So now he's just letting it all out. And my thing is this, I don't have no problems with you, speak your mind, say what you want to say. You were there, we weren't. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. The only problem I have with that, and there are a lot of guys like him, right? It's always after the fact. And I'm always like, okay, so the person smells like a garbage heap, but you have a whole song talking about how much you couldn't get enough of the garbage heap. So which is it? Does it smell like a garbage heap, or were you just holding your breath? Like what, like which is it? It can't be both. You can't be raving about somebody's body parts like 2 months ago, and then today it's trash and all this other stuff. I always take with a grain of salt jilted men, the stories they tell. Just like when you meet a guy and he starts bashing the mother of his children or his ex-wife, that's a red flag, right? That's a red flag. You're a narcissist. If the first thing you can think to do is tear down someone to elevate someone else, that's a no go with me. And a lot of guys will do that stuff, and a lot of women allow it because it makes them feel special. Like you think, oh my God, you should hear what he said about her. Da da da. No, he'll be saying the same thing about you too. That should show you that there is zero respect. And this is the person who gave him children, and you haven't even given him anything yet. And look how he's dogging her out to you. I don't want to hear that type of stuff. You may be valid in your feelings. You may really true feel like the person did this X, Y, and Z, but that's none of my business. I don't want to hear that stuff. And men who do that is a big turnoff. Um, so you always have to look. My mother always told me you always have to look at where the insults are coming from. Then you determine how valid they are and how much energy you really want to give to that. Right. So I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, you were all over the place with this girl. You were having like family dinners and going to restaurants, and we all saw the lives, like we all saw the videos, right? So either you're a really good actor, and some men are really good actors, or you're hurt by what she said, and you know that people don't like her, so you could say whatever. You could say whatever. He could justify all the rumors we heard. He could repeat all that stuff, and people will take it as gospel. All the T channels that hate her will jump all over this like rabid dogs foaming at the mouth. They will be making videos for days about, oh my God, Hood Trophy Bino dogged her out. He said she smelled. He said she this and that. And the baby dropped off the bed and blah, blah. And granted, like I said, those things may have happened. I don't know. I wasn't there. They were there. So I'm not about to sit up here and talk about who's lying and who's not. I don't know. I wasn't there. What I will say is, if you're saying, because he was saying, if I was Blueface, I'd come home and take my son, and I would do this. I should have never helped her get her son back. He should have stayed with the aunt. He was better off. Blah 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 blah. Right? Okay, cool. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. My question to you would be then, when the baby fell off the bed, he said he called his mom because he felt like her response was not quick enough. She didn't care. She wasn't trying to pick him up. All this stuff he said, right? Allegedly. This is his accusations about her. He said he called his mom and was like basically implying that she was deliberately like allowing things to happen or trying to hurt her son, right? If this is how you truly feel and felt in the moment, because you say you're a father and you're a great father, why didn't you call CPS? Why didn't you report her yourself? Instead of doing all this bashing on the internet and doing all this back and forth, why didn't you call? Why didn't you do the responsible thing as a responsible citizen and turn her in? Oh, is it because the album was coming out and you were gonna do the video and you were hoping that you do the feature and all that stuff and you guys were gonna make all this money and then things went left, right? She kind of left you high and dry type of situation. The album came out, and the songs are good, but they didn't do the numbers I think everybody thought it would have done. And it probably would have done better if they hadn't just exposed the complete toxicity of their so-called hookup relationship, whatever you want to call it. And it was just like it just imploded and it never really got a chance to take off. So the music, in terms of the views on YouTube, it didn't do the numbers, especially Falling for You. That would have been a really good song. It would have done better, but the relationship was done by then. So I think there's a lot of bitterness there, in terms of time and energy put in. Maybe you feel like you didn't get your return on the investment, the shopping sprees and the whole going live and, the whole love bombing situation didn't quite play out the way I think that he thought it would. And it probably would have if it was done with somebody that wasn't Krishan Rock. You know what I mean? There's like certain, she clearly is coming from a lot. Like there's a lot there. I'm never one to sit up here and like pretend I'm slow or like I'm blind or whatever. I've said it time and time again, right? There's a lot of trauma, there is a lot of trauma there, right? And so it's hard for people who are narcissistic and people who are used to being manipulators and, the love bombing, the shopping sprees, and the just showering and all that stuff. That stuff doesn't work on people who, number one, are used to it. Number two, can do it themselves. And number three, they got a lot going on emotionally. They're not even really paying attention for real, for real. So I don't think it went the way that a lot of people around him and him personally thought it was gonna go. Now he's bashing her about the clout and all that stuff, but you signed up to get some of that clout. A lot of the people who now watch the lives and supported the music and all that stuff, I'm not talking about his other music because he does have other music. This whole little love album that he tried to do was so far off his usual stuff. It wasn't, he has a certain type of music, right? So he does have his own following in terms of his own music. But I'm talking about this love album here that was done with the whole Krishan thing. It just didn't go the way that they thought it would go. It would have gone. So yeah, he's not pleased, and of course she called him ugly. Like who's gonna be pleased about that? So now it's like the gloves are off. But again, you always have to look at these type of guys. Like I'm used to be a tomboy. So I'm used to, hanging out with guys, listening to their locker room talk, all that stuff, right? It's always the same. Once they get whatever is this, that, and the third. But while they were up in it, while they were in the relationship, it was booed up. That's my wife. You couldn't say boo about the person. They want to jump on you. But as soon as they break up, the girl is all types of this, that, and the third. We all know guys like this. We have brothers and cousins and friends who behave in the same manner. So you always have to take what they say with a grain of salt. Cause I'm always like, if she's nasty and she's dirty and she don't clean the house and she don't this, how are you over there for months and years, just in the filth, just eating nothing, starving to death, and you look like you haven't missed any meals. So you always have to like look at those type of guys side eye. It's like once you once you accept certain things, you lose your credibility and you lose the right to criticize. You don't get to talk about it because you were enabling it. You were all up in it. And if it had gone the way you wanted it to, you would have gone the whole 9 yards. Okay, I'm talking reality show, Zeus, this, that, the third. They thought that they were gonna loop all of this in and it was gonna be like the big money maker, but it just fell through. It did not go the way they thought it was gonna go. So, maybe this is how he really feels about her. Maybe this was what was really going on in the situation. We don't know. It's just him and her. There's like three sides to every story. And I just feel like if you are with someone who you see that they're neglecting their children or that they're doing something that you think is not right as a parent, it's your responsibility to report that and deal with it. Don't come after the fact saying this and saying that, because now your credibility is in question. It's like, yeah, okay, maybe, but you also sound bitter and hurt because she called you ugly. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see how this one plays out. I want to see if she responds to him. I don't think she will. I think, you know, that's probably part of the ploy, is to get a response. Because now all of a sudden it's Blueface this and Blueface that and Blueface this and Blueface that. So, maybe they're looking to team up with Blueface to bash her when he gets out. We know that's coming. So that's something else we gotta buckle up for. It just I just don't get with this. I don't get with that type of stuff at all. Like, I just guys like that is just like, that's kind of grimy to me. And then they were asking him questions about, whether or not she was celibate. She said she's celibate. Then he talked about, oh, he slept with her like 5 times, but then it started to like be like implying that she smelled, and he had to tell her to go bathe and all this type of stuff. That stuff is corny. Like, that type of stuff is so cheesy. And it's so immature. And it's just more of like character assassination. We know guys like this, they do that type of stuff all the time. It's like it's the same old, just it's the same old playbook. I know I, for one, I don't like to dwell in regrets and stuff like that, but I don't know. I, for one, I kind of didn't really see this one coming, and I kind of did. So I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. Once I started seeing how he was reacting to the baby mother and the videos that she was making and the things that he was saying, how he was talking to her and stuff like that, I was just like, oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Like, the disrespect and stuff like that just really started to kind of shed a new light on the situation. Once she started exposing him for real, and you started getting to know, like, because nobody really knew a lot about him. He just kind of came out of nowhere. And, we heard some stuff, but it was kind of like, even that was kind of, you had to take it with a grain of salt. We didn't know if it was coming from what type of energy that was coming from. So we gave him the benefit of the doubt. And lo and behold, here we are. But once I started seeing the drama with the baby mother and stuff like that, I kind of like was like, okay, it's a lot. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you guys are keeping up with this whole Krishan and Hood Trophy Bino saga, let me know if you guys have heard or watched his new live, heard the things that he had to say. It's going viral. So I'm sure you guys will hear about it. The T page will definitely be talking about that. But yeah, I'm gonna leave the link in the description after this video is uploaded. I'm gonna leave the link. You guys can definitely go over to the channel and kind of get to see the live for yourself, hear a little bit about what he had to say. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for those of you who came through. We went live a couple times today, so I'm excited to be kind of back in that side of my content. I really do enjoy my little chit chat videos. I just love it over here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for those of you who stopped by. We appreciate your time. Stay up and stay blessed, and we'll catch you guys in another video. Deuces.